Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be doing some 2-blind example solves, so let's get straight into it. Now I have 4 scrambles prepared for this video that range in difficulty. We'll start out easy and then get a little bit harder, and with all of these scrambles combined we should be able to cover just about everything that you could possibly run into on your own 2-blind solves. So let's get started with the first scramble. And I almost forgot, just a disclaimer, if you haven't seen this video already, please, for your own good, watch that video first, because most of the processes that I use to do 2-blind will not make that much sense if you haven't seen that video first. So please, for your own good, watch that video, and now with the understanding that you have seen that video or have a little bit of background knowledge on 2-blind, we will get into our first scramble. So usually what I do is I locate the white, green, and red corner piece. Now that's kind of how we're going to be judging the color scheme of the cube, if that makes sense. And so once we have that, we're going to just hold that in the top right corner, and this will be the way that we will be holding the cube for the rest of the solve. Now the very first thing that we're going to do is take a look at this sticker right here. This is the yellow sticker that is part of the yellow, red, and green corner piece. Now that corner piece belongs right down here on a solved cube in relation to this piece. And we looked at the yellow sticker, and for the cube to be solved, the yellow would have to belong right down there. That is the letter V, so that will be the very first letter of our code. Then right there we have the white sticker that is part of the white, green, and orange corner piece. Now on a solved cube, the white, green, and orange belongs in the top left, and we're talking about the white sticker, so you would have to swap to right here. That is the letter D, so far we have V and D. Now if we look right there in slot D, we have the red sticker that is part of the red, blue, and white corner piece. Now on a solved cube, that corner piece belongs right back there. And we're talking about the red sticker, so we're going to have to go to the red side, and that would be the letter N. Then in slot N, we have the yellow, red, and blue corner piece. That one on a solved cube would belong kind of right in this back bottom right slot. So we're going to have to move this piece down to here because it's the yellow sticker. So that would be the letter W. Then in the letter W, we have the orange, green, and yellow corner piece, but specifically the orange. Now on a solved cube, that corner piece would belong right down here, and we're talking about the orange one, so that would belong right here, which is the letter G. Now we're almost done here. After the letter G, we're talking about the blue sticker that's part of the blue, orange, and yellow corner piece. Now on a solved cube, blue, orange, and yellow would belong right back here, and we're talking about the blue, so that's on the back side. That would be the letter S. So that is our code for this solve. Now hopefully you recall that we have to use a swapping algorithm. If you don't, that's totally okay. I will put that on the screen as well as in the description so you can follow along. But the very first letter in our code is the letter V, and this one's kind of convenient because it's already at the swapping location. We don't actually have to use any setup moves. So we just go ahead and do the swapping algorithm. And now we will notice that that piece is correctly in the solved location. Then after that we have the letter D, which is right there. So we have to figure out how to get that piece down to here without disturbing our buffer. So the most probable way you would do that would just be in F2, moves it down to there, then do the swapping algorithm, and undo the moves that you did to get it there. Then after that we have the letter N, which is right here. So to get this to there without disturbing this, we're probably going to do an R prime and an F. So now it's there, do the swapping algorithm, and then undo. Then after that we have the letter W, which is right down here. This one's pretty easy. To get that sticker to here, just do a D prime, then the swapping algorithm, and a D. Then after that we have the letter G, which is right here. So get that to there, we'd probably do an F prime, then our swapping algorithm, and undo. And then the last letter, we have the letter S. This one's a little bit more difficult for beginners, but we're going to have to get that to here without disturbing this. So you would probably do a D and then an F prime. Swapping algorithm, then F and D prime. And just like that, it's solved. So now we are going to get into a scramble that has a little bit more difficulty. So here's the scramble. Now this one isn't tremendously more difficult by any means, but it does have a misoriented corner, which we will get a little bit into later. So the very first thing we're going to do is locate that same corner as always, position it in the top right, then take a look at this sticker right here. This is the green that's part of the green, red, and yellow, and so on a solved cube, that corner piece would belong down here, and we're talking about the green sticker, so we're going to go to right here. That is the letter K. Then in slot K, we have the orange sticker that's part of the orange, white, and green corner piece. On a solved cube, that corner piece belongs up here, and we're talking about the orange sticker, so we would have to go right here. That is the letter F. Then in slot F, we have the white sticker that is part of the white, blue, and red corner piece. On a solved cube, that corner piece belongs right back here, and we're talking about the white sticker, so we're going to swap to the letter B. Then in slot B, we have the blue that is part of the blue, orange, and yellow corner piece. On a solved cube, that corner piece belongs right back here in this kind of back bottom left. And we're talking about the blue, so in relation to this, we would have to be on this side, which gives us the letter S. Then in slot S, we have the green that is part of the green, yellow, and orange. That on a solved cube would have to go right here. And we're talking about the green, so we would have to go to the letter L. So now if we think about it, we've visited the letter K, so this piece is solved. We've visited F, so this piece is solved. We've visited B, so this piece is solved. S, so this piece is solved. And of course this piece is our starter. It's always solved. And we just visited L, so now this is solved. So the only two remaining pieces would be our buffer in this sort of back bottom location. Now at this point we would be done if this corner was in the correct orientation. Now it is in the correct slot. This would have to be the yellow, red, and blue corner piece in this back bottom right. So it is the correct piece. It's just not in the right orientation. So what we have to do is choose any of these three stickers, whatever you want really. It doesn't really make a difference, but just because I like the letter O the most, we're going to swap to the letter O. And then if we look at that, that is the yellow side, and that would go to the letter W. So for our misoriented corner, we have O and W. So now we're going to go ahead and do our code to see if we got it right. So starting off with the letter K, we need to get that to there. So you would probably do an F prime and then an R prime, swapping algorithm, and then an R and an F prime to undo that. You'll notice that piece is now correctly solved. Then the letter F, so get that to here. So probably an F prime and then a D, swap in algorithm, and then undo that. Then after that we have the letter B, so get that piece to here. We'd probably just do an R2, I did an R2 prime, but it doesn't really matter. Swap in algorithm, and then undo. Then after that we have the letter S, which is back here, so you'd probably do a D, and then an F prime. Swapping algorithm, and then, oh, sorry, almost did it wrong. And then we have the letter L, so probably do an F2 and then an R prime. Swapping algorithm and undo. And then this was where we were earlier with our misoriented corner. So whenever you have a misoriented corner, this is usually kind of what you're going to be dealing with. So we decided to swap to the letter O, but as always, you can swap to O, W, or T, any of your preferences. And so O, swapping algorithm, undo the setup move, and then the letter W. And the cube is solved. So this next scramble is going to be a pretty hard one. This one will have 2 new cycles as well as a misoriented corner. So this will be about as big and bad as 2 blind will ever get. So if you can do this, then you can pretty much do anything. So as always, we're going to start out with our white, green, and red corner piece locked in the top right. And we're going to take a look at this corner right here. This is the orange, yellow, and blue corner, which on a solved puzzle would belong right back here. And we're talking about the orange piece, so this would belong right there, which is the letter H. Then in the letter H, we have the blue, orange, and white corner piece, which puts us in a predicament because now we are back to our buffer location. So when this happens, you have something called a new cycle, which for blind solving kind of sucks. This is pretty much the hardest part of blind solving. So what you do in this scenario is you just swap it to any other piece that you haven't solved yet. So right now we would have the option of this corner piece, this corner piece, this corner piece, this corner piece, and this corner piece. So because this is pretty early in the solve, you can pretty much go anywhere that you want. So we are just going to, just for fun's sake, go to the letter V, because that doesn't really have any setup moves. That will be the easiest one for us to do. Now in the letter V, we have the orange, green, and yellow corner piece, which would belong right here. Now we're talking about the orange sticker, that would belong right here, which is the letter G. Then in the letter G, we have the green, red, and yellow corner piece. This corner piece would belong right there on a solved cube, which puts us in yet another predicament because this is where we originally put our buffer when we chose to put it anywhere else. So unfortunately, we're going to have to do yet another new cycle, but back to where we were in slot G, this would have to go to the letter K. So we'll add that to our chain of letters. So now we have the option to swap to yet another unsolved piece. So just because I am going to choose the letter B, just because I like the letter B. Then right there is the orange, green, and white corner piece. That is going to belong right here, and specifically the orange sticker will belong right there. That is the letter F. Then in the letter F, we have the white, blue, and red corner piece, which belongs right back here, which is where we originally put our buffer yet again. But this is the white sticker, so we'll go right back here to the letter B. Now at this point, we've solved everything except our buffer and this corner piece right back down here. Now you'll notice that this is in the correct location, it's just misoriented again. So you can kind of choose whatever one you want, but just for simplicity here, I'm going to go to O again. So we'll put the letter O on our letter chain, and that is the blue, so that will go to the letter T. So hopefully, in theory, that should be the right code. So now let's get into the solving process, starting with the letter H, which is this one right here. So get that to here, you would probably do a D prime and then an R. Swapping algorithm, undo that. Now this piece is solved. And then we're gonna do a V, no setup moves for that. V is where we decided to put our buffer piece. Then we're gonna go to the letter G, just an F prime. Swap in algorithm, undo. Then we're going to go to the letter K, undo, and that once again brings our buffer back to the location. So then we decided to put that in the slot B. Swapping algorithm, undo the setup moves. Then we have to go to the letter F, swapping algorithm, undo the setup moves, and then once again back to the letter B. And then at this point, if we recall, we had predicted that there was just the misoriented corner, and that was all that was left unsolved, so we were correct. And we decided to go with the letter O, and then the letter T. And then undo the setup move, and just like that, we're through. So if you were successfully able to navigate your way through that and understand a good chunk of what you do and when, then give yourself a nice pat on the back, because that's just about as hard as 2 blind is ever going to get. So you might be asking, well, what could this 4th scramble possibly contain? And it's just a little something that a lot of times throws beginners for a loop, myself included. So as always, we're going to start with the white, green, and red corner piece right here. Look at our sticker, but oh no, you'll notice that the buffer piece is already in the correct location. Now for most beginner blind solvers, for whatever reason, myself included when I was first learning, this is kind of hard. Basically what you're doing is it's just a new cycle just at the beginning of the solve, and if you think about it, it's actually the easiest new cycle you're ever going to come across, because you just get to swap to like any other available piece, which, assuming there's no other solved pieces, means that you can just take your pick wherever you want to go. So just for funsies, we're going to go to the letter B. Then in the letter B, we have the blue, red, and yellow corner piece. That belongs right down here in the back bottom right, and we're talking about the blue sticker, so that would be the letter T. Then in slot T, we have the blue that is part of the blue, yellow, and orange corner piece. On a solved cube, that belongs right in this kind of back bottom left, and we are talking about the blue sticker, so we would go to the letter S. Then in slot S, we have the white that is part of the white, blue, and red corner piece. On a solved cube, that corner piece would belong right here, and we are talking about the white piece, so we are going to go to the letter B. Now, if you recall, that was the very first thing that we swapped our buffer to as our first new cycle, so now we are going to have to do our second new cycle and just swap it to any other available piece, which consists of this piece, and this piece. Now, if you notice, this one is actually in the correct location, it's just a misoriented corner. So we're going to save that for last, which means that we can either choose this piece or this piece. Now, just because the letter V doesn't require any setup moves, we are going to swap to the letter V. Then from there, we are going to look at this piece. This is the yellow, orange, and green corner piece. That belongs right here, and we're talking about the yellow sticker, which belongs right there. So that will be the letter U. Then in slot U, we have the yellow, red, and green corner piece, which goes right back to kind of where we started here. And we're talking about the yellow piece, so we go right back to the letter V once again. So now we are basically everything being solved except for the buffer and our last misoriented corner. So as always for misoriented corners, you can choose any of the three stickers, whatever suits yourself. You can just kind of choose your preference. I'm just going to choose the letter D, and then in slot D is the green sticker, so we're going to go to the letter I. So that should be our code for this solve. So we're going to start off with the letter B, bring that to the swap-in location, swap in algorithm, and undo the move. Then the letter T, just an R, swap in algorithm, undo the setup move. Then the letter S, which is right back there, so I'm going to do a D and then an F prime, swap in algorithm, F, B prime to undo those setup moves. Then the letter B, once again, setup move, swap in algorithm, undo the setup move. Then the letter V, no setup moves for that one, of course. Then the letter U, just a simple D to get it right to the swap in location. Swap, undo the setup move, and then back to the letter V once again. Of course, no setup moves. And then if we recall, we predicted that this was just the misoriented corner, and we were correct. So now we are just going to do the letter D, just because that's kind of the one that I like the most. So just do an F2, swap in algorithm, undo the setup moves, and then do an I. And just like that, you're done. So in this video, we were able to cover some misoriented corners, some new cycles, some solves where there were new cycles and misoriented corners, and where there was the buffer piece already in the correct location at the start of the solve. So if you were able to successfully navigate yourself through this video, give yourself a pat on the back. You are a pretty accomplished two-blind solver, and you sort of know your way around. Now that being said, if you sort of struggled your way trying to navigate through this video, I totally understand. Blind solving can be a very difficult concept to master, but if you have literally any questions at all whatsoever, maybe it was one of the scrambles that I did in the video that you had a question about, or maybe it's one of your own two blind solves that you want a clarification on. I mean, literally any question at all. Definitely post it in the comments, and I or maybe somebody else will answer it for you as fast as possible. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please, 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 if this helped you in any way, definitely consider leaving a like, and other than that, subscribe if you want to, and I will see all of you next time. Bye.